Hi there, it's day 222, and today's topic is shadow existence. Now, what am I referring to? A topic that is similar to what I told you a few days ago when I was talking about, separating the one category of people who we think that they don't bring us forwardly. Now, I don't want to give the impression as if we have to categorize people to through those who we must have contact and everybody else is out of our life. Because I think we can learn from everybody. But as our time is limited, why should I, spend my time with people who I do dislike if I can spend the same time with people who I love? So anyway, what I'm referring here is that while talking to people, sometimes we have a conversation with some people. May they be just familiar people, can be also part of our families or relatives, whoever it is. And then something is triggering us, or something is, making us getting upset. And we don't know exactly what it is, but sometimes we're thinking, for example, oh, that this person, for example, is never listening to you. So you say something, and they don't, they don't give you the sign that they have listened, understand. They don't comment it. They just continue with their thinking as if it doesn't matter what you're thinking. So you need kind of attention, and that the other person is respecting you in a sense that he's listening and also, um, you know, um, giving a sign that he's thinking about what you're saying in the same way that you are doing. Now, what is important is there's a terminus in psychology that is called projection, which refers to that we judge people for something that we are doing in our own way also. Maybe not in the same sense, but maybe in another context. And we're not even reflecting and getting conscious that we are doing it. So next time that you're speaking with somebody where you're thinking, he really unnerves me, try instead to think, what is it that he does? And maybe it's triggering you because you yourself doing the same way to him, or maybe to another person in another context. And so unconsciously, he reminds you of it. And sometimes they call it also transportation, but it's another form of projection. And I will give you a story maybe to make it more clear that happened to my brother, and he's a teacher who was sometimes working at the university, sometimes in institutions, a teacher for German language for foreigners. So he met at some contact somewhere. I think it was in the Goethe Institute. A familiar. They started together, and after many years, they found each other there. And the other guys saying to my brother, and in this moment, he went up to the next roof, and so he was like 6 7 steps higher than my brother, saying that still haven't found a better job, or like saying is as if you developed yourself and you're still doing this kind of job. Who is he to judge what is right for you or not? Even if you want to work on the streets, that's your problem. If you are happy with it, that's the only thing that counts. And he never asked, for his opinion. So what was interesting that he didn't said this when they were on the same level. Instead, he went a few steps higher, in a sense that I'm above you, looking down to you and your position, which is, I think, unconscious. But it was interesting. So I tell you the story in order to understand what I mean. And I think that there's so many cases where we don't even think about it, that maybe there's something, and we are creating those situations where we found these people that trigger us. And maybe we can take them as an advantage, where we can start analyzing, what does this situation want to teach me? Where am I maybe in another context doing the same thing? And there's so many situations where we even don't think about it. But I know there are situations where I criticize others. Doesn't matter if I am right or wrong, but where I'm thinking I'm a better person. Although it's not a question of being better or not. And there are people who are always smarter than you. There are people who are less smarter than you. Doesn't matter if they have had the same possibilities to learn and to get a better education. The question is, what are you making with your knowledge? And so next time you're feeling kind of superior to others, maybe it's time to ask, what can I do in order to change it, to give my talents in order to teach this person something, or maybe to just find more opportunities to give more of my talent to the world. So instead of improving things we are not so good at, why don't you give the talents to those who can, who really require one of these talents? And it's always about the question, how are you reacting in the world? So that's why I told you this story, in order to become more conscious of those moments where we think kind of superior, and to learn what is there that I can learn from myself or from this situation or from people who trigger me. It mustn't be that I do the same thing to this kind of person, can be to maybe to another person, but something in it, reminds me of something I dislike. And it's not easy to find it, but normally what you dislike is something you have yourself. To find this out, to close it up, just ask people you love or you know you well, and ask them if you find out what triggers you, what annoys you. So let's say for this example that you never listen, ask them, do you know a situation where I'm not listening? I have to close it up now. I had a situation where when I was talking to others, I spoke in the same speed. So the outcome was, they said goodbye, I said goodbye, okay, to next time. So nobody's really listening to the others. And it took me some time, a few weeks, until I just always made a pause of a second, which is really enough, in order to listen first. The other has really finished with the sentence before I say goodbye. Maybe the other said before me goodbye, but at the end I felt like I was more listening, and that helped me also, to avoid this speaking at the same time. And then you're thinking, why does this always happen? And it happened with many people. At the end, I learned it so that I can have a really good conversation where the thing is round, as we say, and I'm feeling good, and the other person is also feeling good. So good luck by trying this out, and stay tuned to tomorrow. Bye-bye.